This ain't no get rich quick scheme. Your own economy and get ahead of the crypto curve. Yeah. In cryptocurrency, create your own economy and get ahead of the crypto curve. Learn to get left behind. Good morning and good afternoon to those of you that are on the East Coast, and welcome to Ahead of the Crypto Curve. We are in studio today, and we are in our new phenomenal time slot, which is Sundays at 11 a.m. Pacific and 11 p.m. if you missed this show today. But I am your host, Najah Roberts, and it is my mission in life to lead my people out of financial slavery on this virtual underground railroad. I don't just do this show to change the way you think about money, but to make you change the way you look at money and everything else around you because it absolutely matters. Ladies and gentlemen, today is October 29th, 2022. And boy, how time flies. We're at the end of the month. But we have several cryptopians who have birthdays today. So I would like to say happy birthday to Kanye Turner of Lithonia, Georgia. Happy birthday to Larry Ritchie of Warrensburg, Missouri. Happy birthday to Raven Hoyt of Brooklyn, New York. Happy birthday to Lynette Futch of Inglewood, Georgia. Well, that's Ellenwood, Georgia. I'm in Inglewood, but that's Ellenwood, Georgia. Happy birthday to Shalonda Antoine from Los Angeles, California. And happy birthday to Philip Otoko of North Ridgeville, Ohio. And happy birthday to Aisha Tafera of Houston, Texas. To each and every one of you, I hope that your day today is filled with all the love, joy, happiness, and understanding you deserve on this day, which is your birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to talk about. The cryptocurrency space is on the move. Of course, you probably have heard more buzz than ever. You've heard more people probably online than ever talking about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. And it gets that way when a bull market is in play. And so right now, there's a tiny bit of a bull market. The price of Bitcoin is up. And so everybody is going to step back in, acting like they've been here this entire time, trying to educate you and trying to help invest monies for you. And I will tell you first and foremost to back up, take a deep breath, and do not try to get rich quick because they are looking for individuals who are ill prepared, ill understanding this market to take advantage of. And so I'm just going to say tread very lightly. And as I go into the end of breast cancer awareness, I just want to continue to say to all of you out there that are battling with some form of cancer, not just breast cancer, my hat and heart goes out to you. And for those of you that have lost loved ones to cancer, we think about you and pray for you continuously as well. And so breast cancer awareness is real. I take this time to continuously remind myself to get all my doctor's appointments and things in. And so I think that you should be doing so too, especially in the market that we're in right now. Ladies and gentlemen, everything that you have been procrastinating about, thinking and waiting, should I go to the dentist? Should I go to the doctor? Should I do this? Should I do that? If you have benefits in place to take care of the things that you need to take care of, you need to do them now. We need not procrastinate. We need not to put off things that are very important during an economic uncertainty. And because we are ahead of the crypto curve, we've got some We've got some things in place. We've been working to secure some of our satoshis and some of these things, but we've got to look at the realistic aspects that affect our economic conditions. And if we're paying out of the ears because we neglected to do some of the things like getting root canals and fillings and things that we need right now, ladies and gentlemen, the prices of everything are about to go through the roof. Uh, there's going to be some losses in benefits. And so we need to take advantage of what we can right now. And so my message to you today is going to be about the economy. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency, absolutely. But the reason why people are going into cryptocurrency is because our banking system and our economic system here in the United States is quite frankly failing. And I've been saying this for a very long time, and we need to take note and we need to pay attention to everything around us. And I have explained so many times to everybody that Bitcoin is not just a single lateral thing. It is something that you need to build upon. You build upon outside principles about why you need to be into cryptocurrency, into Bitcoin specifically in my case. Why? What's the need? What is the actual argument as to why someone would need to be in cryptocurrencies? And it comes along with paying attention to everything else that's going on around us. So when we come forward, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to jump into our quote. We are going to jump into the things that I have been saying for the last 9 months that are starting to hit the fan. We've got just about 3 days left. Today is the 29th, so we got 2 days left. And some other stuff is about to hit the fan. So when we come forward, we'll continue the conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580. Hey, y'all. A, a 2 minute break? Okay. Three? Okay. I'm cool. Thank you. That gives me enough time. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Appreciate you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have been telling everybody about everything that's going on, and a lot of stuff I can't say on the radio, a lot of stuff I can't say on social media because they'll shut down my platforms. So, you're going to have to join me in the virtual Underground Railroad. I am in there every single day, really talking about things that are going on with the war, talking about the things that are going on in the banking industry. I'm going to share a couple of the things on the radio today, but again, I have to be very careful how I tread on the radio just to make sure, that our station doesn't get any ramifications for me talking, but I can say whatever I want in the virtual Underground Railroad. And so that's where I am most of the time. And so I'm looking forward to sharing information with you in there. So stay tuned, stand by. I am super excited to be able to bring this information to you. Let me see what I can do. All right, y'all. We are getting ready to come back on live. What is that? All right, welcome forward, ladies and gentlemen. We are just going to jump in with the quote. And so I want everybody that has been listening and following along to know how important in today's world it is for you to think outside the box. I know me talking about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin so early, and I keep saying that we're early. We're still early, ladies and gentlemen, because we have not yet reached what we call mass adoption. We have not gotten to that point. So, mass adoption is not here yet. With that being said, we have got to think outside the box, not just with our money, but we've got to think outside of the box with our savings. We've got to think outside of the box with our daily living. We got to think outside of the box with everything we do around us because, again, it absolutely matters. Whether you think so or not, it absolutely matters. And you've got to get out of the old antiquated way of thinking, the old antiquated way of doing things, the old antiquated way that has gotten us where we are today. And that is not in a good situation. And what I realize is that a lot of us feel like we're comfortable and we see things moving and we think that all is well in love and war. And it is absolutely not. And I'm going to show today, I'm going to attempt to share with you why you need to be saving and investing in any other mechanism that you can besides the regular systems that we're used to saving in because it's about to hit the fan. And I've been talking about it and I've been talking about it probably until I'm a little bit blue in the face. And some of you know that's kind of hard to see the blue hue with my fabulous dark pigmented skin. So, but I've been blue in the face trying to tell you all to get ready for what's happening. And I'm going to show you today or talk to you today about how and why we need to be paying closer attention to what is happening and how it is going to affect us in our households. Again, ahead of everything that is going on. You have been forewarned, and I think a lot of you have taken heed and have put yourselves in a better position for the long term. And again, what I'm going to talk about today, Bitcoin doesn't solve in the immediate, but it definitely solves down the line. And that's what we're going to talk about. So, my quote for today says, "It isn't enough to think outside the box. Thinking is passive. Get used to acting outside of the box." So, ladies and gentlemen, we shouldn't be thinking. Thinking is passive. That's just being passive. We need to get used to acting outside of the box. And we got to act and we've got to act quickly. So, why am I saying this again and again and again? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had an entire show a couple of months back about stagflation. And again, many people say, why is she talking about stagflation when she's supposed to be teaching about cryptocurrency? Well, ladies and gentlemen, in order to make the argument as to why you need to be investing in cryptocurrency, it's because you've got to make the argument that all of the things that are taking place in and around our country and our world are going to require people to get themselves into a decentralized currency, one that no one else controls, one that no one else can freeze, one that no one else can tell you what to do either way with your money. And that's the bottom line. That's the whole reason we are here today talking on Ahead of the Crypto Curve. So let's get real. Let's keep it 100. Let's talk money straight, no chaser. There is an economic disaster on the horizon. Now, I don't care if people think this is doom and gloom. I have already accepted my title as the town crier. I am going to cry out to my community to pay attention to what is happening because we are going to be lost in the sauce. In better words, we are going to drown financially if we do not figure out how to get ahead by putting some things in place today that can benefit us in the next, I'm going to say 3 to 10 years, because I used to say 5 to 10 years. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are 3 to 5 years, 3 to 10 years of having to really figure some stuff out. And we are tethered, many of us, to our situation. And when I say tethered to our situation, what do I mean by that? Well, if I'm sitting here in my fabulous house in California, which I'm not saying I'm sitting in my fabulous house, I'm just making an inference to those of you that may be sitting in your fabulous house with your interest rates on your house less than 4%, but you get a job offer in Atlanta and you need to move to Atlanta. But are you going to move to Atlanta? The answer is absolutely not. Because if you go to Atlanta, you're going to need to buy a house in Atlanta. And the interest rate is now in upwards of 17%. So you are tethered to your property because you don't want to lose the interest rate. You definitely don't want to get somebody in your house with all of these moratoriums and things that they've been giving folks where they haven't had to pay mortgages, they haven't had to pay rent, and all of these things for years. You don't want those types of situations. Those are situations that will absolutely cripple you, especially when you have to continue to pay your taxes. So a lot of us are just really stagnant. So that's what a part of stagnation is. And so let's get back into understanding stagflation. So it is a persistent high inflation. Ladies and gentlemen, we meet that criteria for stagnation. We are in a persistent high inflation right now, and that's combined with high unemployment. So I know I've been warned. I'm going to say warned, not to say so much against those folks that tell us the wrong information. But, ladies and gentlemen, newsflash, we are in a situation with high unemployment. I don't care how many jobs they say they added to the workforce, they've been going back in and adjusting those reports because they need you spending your money to keep the economy going. So they make it like everybody has jobs. Now, folks may have jobs, and everybody may have a job that you know. Everybody may not have a job that you know. But are they paying living wages, ladies and gentlemen? That's why you're seeing all of these people across this United States starting to walk out of the job and picket. And because they need a living wage. It is absolutely ridiculous what is happening. So if they added jobs, did they add jobs where people had living wages that they didn't have to be working 2 and 3 jobs? I am so sick of running into my community where folks are telling me they're working 3 jobs. You can't work 1 job effectively. How in the world are you working 3 jobs and still trying to raise children? It is really a sad situation. And so, stagnant is really a demand that is happening right now in our country's economy. No matter where you look, again, you may be comfortable in your house with your low interest rates, and I get it, but some things are going to happen here very shortly. And why am I saying this? Because, ladies and gentlemen, at the beginning of the year, President Biden signed to allow 300,000 people to be bailed out of their foreclosures, meaning they didn't have to pay the banks right then, and they got some time. They were bought some time to really get themselves together, which again, I don't think that people can because the price of groceries is so astronomical. Either you're eating or you're paying your bills, or you're eating very little, or you're eating less than what you were eating, or if you're eating the same, you're paying more, which doesn't give you money to do some of the other things that you need to do. And so, unfortunately, In 2 days, ladies and gentlemen, the moratorium on mortgages is over. So those individuals who have not paid their mortgage, and I know y'all didn't know some of this exists because for the most part, a lot of folks in our community weren't made privy to or did not get the opportunity not to pay their mortgage since March of 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, there are a group of mortgagers, mortgage holders, there's a group of communities. There is a group of folks that have not paid their mortgage since March of 2020. And the gig is up in just about 2 days. Now, let me say this because it may not be all bad because they haven't paid their mortgage, but maybe they were investing in some things and they did really well. I personally know that some folks that don't look like me weren't paying their mortgages. And what they were doing was they were taking that money and buying more properties while they could. But a lot of us didn't get that memo, right? Don't pay your mortgage, but go ahead and make some investments and get an opportunity to make money with the money that you're not spending. And then when it's time to pay your mortgage, which happens to be in a couple of days, you can then go in and make sure that you're okay. Now, I don't really understand everybody's loans, but some folks are going to have to pick up where they left off. And then there are some individuals that are able to kind of put what they owe from March of 2020 into the what loan is left, and they can start from where they are. And that's probably how most of them are set up, but not all of them. But I need you to think about those folks that haven't been taking that money and actually investing it and making more money, or putting that money in their savings because they've had extra money. They've done what? They've gone out and been consumers. They've gone out and been consumers. And so what that entails is them not having put together a plan or the discipline to be able to pay these mortgages. And so we're going to see some defaults, a whole bunch of notices of defaults that are about to hit our communities and our world. And I have been saying for the very longest that inside of every economic downturn, there are people that make a slew of money based on that. And I've already said that we need to be ready so we don't have to get ready. So hopefully some of you are thinking about what I'm thinking about, which is scooping up these properties once they have to go for short sale and things of that sort. We're going to be able to make a lion's share of money based on, unfortunately, people's mishaps and people's inability to really understand what is happening in the market right now. And I don't want to say that we're taking advantage of it, but ladies and gentlemen, somebody's going to have to buy these properties. Somebody is going to have to be involved in making sure that these properties don't go back to the bank. And why shouldn't it be us? Why shouldn't we be ready with our proper things that we need if we're able to borrow the money? And that's a whole nother story because of the interest rates and things of that sort. And so again, as I've said before, we've got a bunch of things happening that are coming together all at once that are creating the perfect storm. And the perfect storm, not in the good sense, but the perfect storm. And as you know, in October this month, people have started having to pay their student loans back. And these student loan bills are astronomical. I'm looking at, I was privy to get an opportunity to look at a young lady's student loan um, payment. And it went back for the 4 years that she was in school. And she had pulled this money out, her and her mother. And I was looking at her bill, and her bill monthly, ladies and gentlemen, is $986. Now, I don't know, but there are a lot of millennials and Gen Zs that I know that are working on jobs and they cannot afford to pay in excess of $900. They can't even pay $500 and make ends meet. So that means that they're going to be in a situation where they're going to have to be defaulting on these student loans, or eating, or having a place to live, and things of that sort. And that just started in October. So that's the first pile up that is happening. And then the next pile up of money that is happening are these mortgages. There's going to have to be an act of God himself coming down for them to give another extension on mortgages. It's just, I just don't see it happening, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're in that basket of people that are about to have to pay your mortgage again and haven't done so since March 2020, it's time to put on your big girl and big boy underwear and make some things happen. You've got to have another stream of income to be able to keep up with the mortgage, along with keep up with saving, to make sure that you're good in the next 3 to 5 years, to make sure that you're keeping up with helping your children. I was on the phone with one of my good girlfriends the other day, and she was saying, I will be so happy to close the Cash app because my kids are constantly calling me saying, Mom, can you cash at me $20? Can you cash at me $80? These are grown people with jobs that are having difficulty just getting gas money. And so, ladies and gentlemen, our community has to wake up and realize that we've got to have an alternative to the banking system. And we've got the answer when we come forward. After sports, news, and traffic, we'll continue the conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. We got about 6 minutes. I hope that the information that I'm sharing with you is good. I have to be very, very careful. Again, what I say on the radio, and so what I say on social media. So most of what I'm going to talk about is definitely going to be in the virtual Underground Railroad. So um, we're going to get started. They've given me a 6 minute break. We're going to talk about some of the things that are going on. Uh, Tyrone Howard. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get started. This is one of the last. This is the last Sunday in October, so breast cancer awareness is definitely over. For those of you who had not done the Black Wall Street claim for your money, please reach out to me. I'll give my number out, 424-317-7373. Again, 424-317-7373. Please do so. And also follow me on all social medias. I'm at Najah Roberts on all social medias. I will not be in your DMs talking to you about giving me money to trade for you. That is not me. Those are some of the accounts that have copied me. And so I am really hoping, that you all are really paying attention to that. That's what we're doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's see here. You must learn. All right. So that's kind of where we are, ladies and gentlemen. But let's see here. No. I'm on the radio. I'm on the radio. Pull that door. Look, just a little bit right there. Go talk to Dimitri. Sorry, y'all. I'm at home doing my show today. I'm not in studio. So bear with me. I appreciate y'all. I got kids coming in, dogs coming in. Shouldn't have dogs in the house, but we got a big old baby. So we're getting ready to get in here in just a second. All right, 2 minutes. So we got 2 minutes, y'all. I wish you all could hear the commercials. I got to try to figure that out. But I'll figure it out for next week. But I saved that last week and forgot that you all can't hear the. But anyway, I have the virtual Underground Railroad, ladies and gentlemen. Super excited about everything that's going on. Looking at these numbers. All right, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going back on and we are going to get this party started. We got a lot to talk about in the crypto space today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome forward. Welcome forward. We are getting into what is happening in the cryptocurrency space. And I am looking at coin market cap. And I see that Bitcoin right now, ladies and gentlemen, is trading at $34,678. It's up 0.02% in the last hour. In the last 24 hours, it is up 1.60%. In the last 7 days, it is up 15.93%. And Ethereum, ladies and gentlemen, is trading at $1,796. And it is down in the last hour 0.27%. And in the last 24 hours, it is up 0.71%. And in the last 7 days, it is up 9.8%. Now, as we look at the fear and greed index in the cryptocurrency space, there are two separate ones. There's one for regular stocks and investments, and then there's one for the cryptocurrency space. And for the last 3 or 4 months, ladies and gentlemen, we have been in the fear mode. But I will have to tell you today, based on this fear and greed index, we are at a 71, which means we are actually in the greed at 71%, which means people are feeling really well about investing in cryptocurrencies right now. They're not scared. They're not thinking it's going to fall through. And why are they not thinking that it's going to fall through? Because they know that inflation, stagflation, all the things that are happening with the economy, with the war, all of those things are going to push people into other asset classes that are thinking outside of the box, things that we have not in the past had at our disposal, and things in the past that have not worked well for us in our world, right? And so the market cap right now is 1.28 trillion dollars with the T. Now the market cap on gold right now is at 10 was at 11 trillion, and cryptocurrency is at 1.28 trillion, which is almost close to 1.3 trillion. And I think that is very, very great. I mean, that's really good for something that's only been around 14 years, right? And so we are embarking in just about 2 days, just in case you didn't know, what I call the birth announcement of Bitcoin. So on October 31st, um, it was announced that there was this thing called Bitcoin that was going to be coming out and happening. And it didn't come out, and the first block wasn't minted until January 3rd. But what happened is on October the 31st, the birth announcement of Bitcoin was actually put out into the world. And so, in just a couple of days, there's going to be a lot of celebrations around the United States to that fact. But again, with only 14 years of something being in place digitally, as it relates to a decentralized currency, we have Bitcoin. And so, with a 1.3 trillion market cap, I think that that is a really good thing. And we're going to see it grow more and more as more and more people really understand what's happening with all these markets that I've been telling you about. Now, there's another thing that I wanted to share with each and every one of you as you sit here today. We've talked a lot in the past about exchanges that I don't rock with. Number one being Coinbase, because they inked a deal with Homeland Security to just make sure that Homeland Security or anybody else in the government really didn't have to work hard to get anybody's information. And again, not that anybody is trying to avoid telling the government what they have or anything like that, but we feel as though everything that we do with our money that we earn should be ours to disseminate if we want to, what we're doing with it, how it's being spent, and what we're investing in, right? Those types of things. Well, Coinbase went ahead and inked the deal to give that information just right over to Homeland Security, along with other ones with no type of fight or anything like that, just giving it to them. And so lately, um, Kraken announced after a June court order that effective in 2 days, Kraken, for those of you that are on the Kraken platform, Kraken will now share certain information with the IRS in November 23, and they are their transactions, any transactions that you do that are exceeding $20,000 from 2016 to 2020 are getting ready to be reported. So if you all have been listening to me for any amount of time, I said that there's a lot of people out there that were jumping from coin to coin to coin, thinking they were getting rich quick and talking about they didn't have to pay taxes. They hadn't got a 1099. They hadn't gotten anything from anybody, and they were just living the life and enjoying themselves. And if you remember my scenario, I said they're going to wait. If you're young and you're just vibrant and you running around and you in the cryptocurrency space doing what you do and talking people into getting into coin and pumping and dumping and getting involved in rug pulls and not paying any taxes or putting any money aside, you were going to be in trouble. And they were going to wait till you were grown and sexy and about to get married and or put a house in escrow or close on some big deal, and they're going to put a levy on that thing and snatch the money and make sure that you pay taxes on what some of these exchanges are now reporting because they're going back indefinitely. Remember, I told you on your taxes, if you check the box that says that you are involved in cryptocurrencies, they have 3 years to give you an audit. But if you put no on your tax return, ladies and gentlemen, they can come back indefinitely to check on your cryptocurrency investments to see how much money you actually owe in tax. Now you got penalties and assessments and all of those things. And with Kraken going in to report, ladies and gentlemen, from 2016 to 2020, this is going to be a rude awakening for a lot of folks that were sitting around thinking they got away without paying their taxes. When we come forward, we'll continue this conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming. We got commercial break. Okay. All right. We're going to get started in just a second. All right. All right. We are not going to talk about the wars on the radio right now. I want to so bad, but I can't. I'm out of time and I got a lot of stuff that I need to handle and cover, but I got to make sure that, we are really in a good space. So I'm going to talk about the war stuff on my virtual underground railroad. So 30 seconds. Thank you. All right, welcome forward, welcome forward. So we know in this Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space that mass adoption has not happened. But I tell you, the more wars that we continue to get involved in, the more people that are going to start going into default with all the different things from mortgages to cars to commercial banking properties, commercial real estate properties, people that are buying gold, people that are doing all of these alternative things. People are going to continue to look to a safe way to store the value of what they have. And so Bitcoin is one of those options. So I want to make sure that we're clear. And a lot of you are just kind of sitting by on the sidelines saying, well, who else is getting involved in this? And you all, some of you wait till absolutely too late to get involved in things, which is why a lot of times our community is last to the party. I just know people sitting right close to me, listening right close to me, people that are right in my circle that have not even yet acted. And we have watched when Bitcoin was down a couple of months ago to $12,000. And now we're talking what, 30-ish. And you could have in just months got a $15,000 return. And not that you would sell out of it, but that lets you know that something is happening, ladies and gentlemen, and you need to be doing something different. But I just decided I would find three prominent politicians who have recently disclosed that they own Bitcoin, providing further evidence, ladies and gentlemen, that Bitcoin usage is growing across the political spectrum. And that's really, really important. And we've got New York City's Mayor Eric Adams, as you all may know. We've got Miami Mayor Francis Suarez, who is a well, I don't know if he's running, what he's doing right now, but we've also got a Democratic presidential candidate. Well, now he's independent. He's not Democratic. He got sick of that. But Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is also acquiring varying amounts of Bitcoin over the past several years, as I have suggested that we all should. But Adams was recently criticized for failing to report his Bitcoin and holdings on his annual financial disclosure form, but has said that he thought the question was the form only applied to securities. Now he's absolutely right because Bitcoin is a commodity, not a security, and they asked what securities were being held in their portfolio. So again, this is something that's going on. Now, Suarez has been a very vocal supporter of Bitcoin for several years, and he even takes the least part of his mayoral salary in Bitcoin. He has said previously that he sees Bitcoin as a way to attract business and investments to Miami. And he was on a good roll for a very long time until his governor started talking crazy about black folks. And I just there's no way I am going to support anything going on in Florida, period. Point blank, period. Because that's where woke goes to die. So they say, right? DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and DIE, which means they're trying to kill anything that they've got going anywhere. And so let me say this too, really quickly, because I haven't really shared this about this where woe goes to die. So Florida is one of the first places where they're starting to take Black history books and Black history out of the school. Well, they've done it some places here in California as well. But what they're strategically doing is putting people in the board of directors is not the board of directors, school board. Some of the school board administrators are getting themselves in place so they can get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and some of the things that are happening around the teaching of Black history because they want to rewrite history and things of that sort. And what does that have to do with Bitcoin or anything else? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we need to be buying ascending assets. So in the next 3 to 10 years, if we need to take our children out of regular public schools and put them into schools where we can control the actual narrative, the actual information that is being disseminated to our kids, this is going to be one of the ways that does it. And I'm going to be the one that continuously say, in my opinion, Bitcoin solves almost everything, but not exactly in the immediate, but it is going to definitely afford us the opportunity to have options. Because if I have my Bitcoin in place in 3 to 5 years, and Bitcoin does what we think it's going to do in 5 to 10 years, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be able to put all of my grandchildren in private school. In fact, they don't even have to go to school because Big Mama's going to have enough money where they can have a tutor and or teachers come to the school, and I can create my own school on my own property for my grandchildren to ensure that they're getting the information that they need about their heritage, about their history, about their lineage, and anything else I want to teach. And I don't have to leave my children in the hands of Common Core curriculum. And I'm going to tell you, Common Core curriculum right now, in my opinion, is about the most absolutely ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Now, I don't want to get into any of that on the show, but ladies and gentlemen, I am, and I'm not bragging at all, but I'm not bragging about not being able to know. But some of the stuff that the teacher is explaining to me on how to do my fourth graders math is a problem. And I'm not saying it's a problem for me, but it's a problem with the way that they're processing and making the kids think. And so it's just really a different space right now. We've got to get out of this box of thinking that they have to, our children have to get into these and be subjected to the schools, being subjected to the language that the things that they're being called. I spent in upwards of 8 hours this last week just dealing with children that are calling our children the N word and all sorts of things that are happening in school districts right now that they're turning a blind eye to. And we can solve these things with having the economic wherewithal to keep our kids home and homeschool. And so these are the things that we're working towards in this decentralized space called Bitcoin. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we come forward, we'll continue the conversation. This is KBLA Talk 1580. All righty. Thank you. All right. Welcome forward. Welcome forward. I am going to, ladies and gentlemen, embark upon something that I think our community really needs. We need to understand what is happening. And so I've decided to do what I am calling War Times webinar. And I'm going to do a free webinar. Um, in November, the early part of November, just to make sure that everyone is really understanding the financial implications of you staying in money, staying in the same savings plans that you've been saving in, and just really making sure that our community has the wherewithal and understanding to make it through what we are about to experience. One of the major sponsors here on KBLA is Chase Banks and JP Morgan Chase. And JP Morgan's CEO is Jamie Dimon. And Jamie Dimon said this week, ladies and gentlemen, and in case you didn't know, CEO of JP Morgan Chase is one of the biggest banks in the world, not just in the United States, but in the world. But Jamie Dimon said, and I quote, "This may be the most dangerous time the world has seen in decades." Again, this may be the most dangerous time the world has seen in decades. And so, what does that mean as it relates to trickle down economics? We always hear that term, trickle down economics. Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, we are going to participate in a trickle down economic situation. And so we need to know what's going on. We need to know what's going on firsthand, not just what they're saying in the media. And so I'm going to do a wartime webinar. I'll be posting on my social media so you all can come. It's free. It talks about cryptocurrency and some of the things that you need to be doing. But for the most part, ladies and gentlemen, you got to look at the macro and figure out how it's going to affect you. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank each and every one of you for rocking with me today here on Ahead of the Crypto Curve. And we are making way for You Must Learn with Dr. Tyrone Howard. And there's some good information that's going to be disseminated there. I just want you all to know that we need to be doing some key things during this time. First and foremost, I am going to be buying Bitcoin. I'm going to continue to buy my gold, and I'm going to continue to stack enough food on hand for 3 months, storing medications, making sure that I have enough cash on hand to withstand a few months. And I'm going to be sticking together with friends and family who know what's going on and understand the economic situation that we're in. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for rocking with me on Ahead of the Crypto Curve. We're building Satoshi millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, one Bitcoin at a time, one Satoshi at a time. And ladies and gentlemen, that means you.